Hey there crafty peeps, it's Tegan here from Fitz and Lola, and thank you for joining me today to learn a whole new stitch. This is called the loop stitch variation. I found this stitch in a book by Dora Ohrenstein, which is called Every Which Way Stitch Dictionary. I have not seen this before, and I don't think there's enough of it out there. Even just a quick Google, I couldn't find much about it. So I've decided that I'm going to do a tutorial for it because I am actually making a design that will require this all throughout for my cowl. This is it in the making. But let me just jump straight into it. However, I do recommend, if you want to know even more information after what I have told you today, is to pick up that book from Dora Ohrenstein's Every Which Way Dictionary and learn it for yourself. Alright, let's put this aside. So, with this stitch, you will require 2 stitches per loop stitch itself. So for today's demonstration, I'm just going to start with 6 chains, which will give us 3 loop stitch variation stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now for every even amount of stitches that you make, for the amount of loop stitch variations you need, you will need to add another 3. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 9 stitches. The reason why we're adding another 3 is you will require an extra one at the end of your row so that you can insert a single crochet. You'll see that in a moment. And then the other 2 is to begin your row. So working into the back bump, insert the hook into the 3rd bump. Pull up a loop. Now remember, this stitch works over 2 stitches. So now we're going to yarn over, so we've got 3, and then we're going to insert our hook into the 4th stitch, so this next stitch pretty much. Pull up a loop. So you've gone into 2 stitches and you should have 4 stitches on your hook. Now yarn over and pull through all 4 and then chain 1. I'll show you again. So insert into the 1st stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert into the 2nd stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops and then chain 1. I'll just do it again. So insert hook into the 1st stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert into the 2nd stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 4 loops, chain 1. As you can see, we're left with that last stitch, so we're going to insert a single crochet. And what this does, it creates a nice clean edge. So you can see here, just by looking at it, you can already see the loop stitch variations, how it just kind of comes up as like a little bubble, almost like a puff stitch. Now we're going to chain 2 to start the next row, and then turn. Now that was your setup row. So row 2 and pretty much every row throughout, we're now going to start our loop stitch variation by inserting our hook into the stitch directly below our starting chain, so into this one here. So insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 4, chain. We'll do that again into the next 2. Now we are left with 2 stitches. However, you can see here how many you're supposed to have. So if you remember, they look like puff stitches, but on the back of the puff you actually get this long diagonal loop. So each loop represents a loop stitch variation. So 1, 2, 3. So we're supposed to have 3. 1, 2, 3. But with these 2 stitches, it doesn't work because we don't have enough room to do a single crochet. So we're going to skip this stitch and do a single crochet into the 2nd chain of our starting chain from the below row. And this is where I recommend, when you're doing the chain 2s, to make them as loose as possible so it makes it easier for you to insert the hook. Oh my lord, what have I done here? Oh yeah, there we go. And a single crochet. I'll do one more row just so that you can see the effects of the pattern. So chain 2 and turn, insert, loop stitch, chain. Do not forget your chains. When I first started learning the stitch, I kept forgetting the chain. It didn't look very good. It's a little tight. And the third one. Skip. Insert a single crochet into this chain. If it makes it easier, turn first and then chain 2, but it's entirely up to you. I'm rushing, so I'm not going to mess up. So you can see that's row 2 there. So we've got the loops on the back side of it. So we've just completed row 3, and you'll see that the loop is on the back of it. So that's row 3 and row 2. So, what I recommend with this yarn, or not with this yarn, what I recommend with this stitch is to use bulky yarn where possible. I find that it shows off the pattern a lot more nicer and a lot more obviously than with smaller yarn like DK weight or fingering weight. I have tried it with Aran, I didn't quite like it, but I kind of like this sort of yarn. So this is Paintbox Yarn's Wool Mix Chunky. And I also recommend going up a hook size. So on that yarn label for the Paintbox Yarn's Wool Mix Chunky, it actually recommends a 7mm, but I'm using an 8mm that has been clearly chewed up by my cat. And it sort of, as you can kind of see, like it has a little bit of squish and stretch to it, but it is quite tight as well. So if you can go up a hook size, do it, definitely do it. The other bonus about this is obviously this is reversible, not identical reversible, because obviously the loop, the diagonal loop is at the back of the row that you're creating. But if you definitely did an even amount, I'm sure you could use it in reverse, which is why I'm using it in my new cowl pattern. So as you can see, both sides are pretty much identical. So that's it today for the loop stitch variation. If you're wanting some more information about increasing, decreasing, edging, etc., I definitely recommend picking up a book by Dora Ohrenstein. Otherwise, please keep an eye out for my new pattern, which will be coming out very, very soon, and I hope that this tutorial was very helpful. For more tutorials, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and I hope you have an amazing day. Keep on crafting!